I'd like to call to order tonight's meeting of the Hammond Capital Improvement Board for March 3rd. Please rise and join with me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we get a roll call, please?
Moore.
Here.
Muda.
Here.
Prieto.
Here.
Rakos.
Here.
Salinas. Warple. Button.
Here. Let the record reflect that there are 6 members present, 5 in chambers and 1 on Zoom. And I will announce when Councilman Salinas joins us. Board, item number 4 is consideration of past meeting minutes. In your board packet, you should have received a copy of the meeting minutes for the last meeting, which I do not have open. Second. It's been moved and properly seconded to approve the meeting minutes for, that's bad news. February 3rd, which would have been 1 month ago. It's been moved by Councilman Warple, properly seconded by Commissioner Prieto to approve those meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Moore.
Yes.
Muda.
Yes.
Prieto.
Yes.
Rakos.
Yes.
Salinas. Warple. Button.
Yes. Motion carries 6 in favor with 1 absent. Let the record reflect that Councilman Salinas has joined us. Next item on the agenda is item 6, funding. Turn it over to our esteemed Controller and Commissioner Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll have more of an elaborate wrap-up report at the next meeting, but I have allocated the remaining budgets for 2024 as well as the first quarter for 2025. And right now we're at a balance of about $2.9 million. We do still have some receivables that are outstanding that will be credited once they have been received to that balance. But as I said, I'll get into the details a little bit more at the next meeting once I finish some cleanup.
And does that factor in tonight's considerations?
It does, Mr. President.
Thank you. And that would be, every one of these has a portion that's matched. So we also have forget the term where you.
Receivables, yes,
Okay,
for those as well,
receivables.
yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you for, questions for Commissioner Moore? Thank you very much for your report. Next item on the agenda is item 7, matter from mayor, council, and other department. Any from those entities wishing to address the board at this time? Anyone wishing to address the board? Last call, seeing none. Item 8 is old business. Do we have any old business? Seeing none. Item 9 is new business. Item 9A is funding allocation 232, citywide sign installation at various locations with First Group Engineering in the amount of $45,000. The chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Salinas, properly seconded by Councilman Warple for the citywide sign replacement project. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Butt,
Mr. Warple, Councilman.
I know I asked about the double signs a second ago. Are there any opportunities to get those blinking lighted signs?
That would be outside the scope of this project. If we want to do that, we need to.
Well, the only reason I ask is I did have a couple of inquiries on it. And I don't know that I believe in putting them everywhere, but around, like, especially on 173rd there by Hessville Park. Where would 2918 Hessville Park, or 173rd?
Yeah.
He's wanted a blinking light forever.
We'll have to do that different. What this program proposed was the replacement of non-compliant signs relative to the current Indiana Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Devices, which has certain requirements on size and retroreflectivity, height, all those sorts of things. And so, but it didn't plan on, because those signs are obviously more expensive than a simple stop sign. So anything in addition to that, we'd have to fund locally.
Maybe I need to rephrase the question. Are we looking at all? Like, is somebody looking over what signs need to be replaced? Because
Yes.
is the opportunity there to ask for one of those if you need one here or there, I guess is the question I'm asking.
We have looked, this board hired First Group Engineering to do a LiDAR study, which has to do with using video and some computer technology that identifies all of these specific items. We did a Pazer evaluation of all the roadways, right, and came up with a number. We did, at the same time, we did signs, anticipating this project coming. So they've all been looked at. We've identified where the signs are. We just have to go through, putting them in a format that we can bid. But I would say that we never intended on flashing, perimeter flashing stop signs. That was not part of it. It's just a direct sign replacement.
That would be a Board of Works question, I guess, right?
You could ask the Board of Works to replace a stop sign with an illuminated stop sign.
I didn't mean to take up time here. I could have asked you this one of the 20 times I come to your office.
Your questions are appreciated. I would just say that the city of Hammond received a $540,000 grant from the Indiana Department of Transportation through a special call for safety projects. There was a 90% federal fund, or state, at least state funding, if not federal funding. 90% state funding, 10% local match. So the design for this project is, while it's $45,000, the net cost of the city is only $4,500. And that replaces, we put a budget together of $50,000 for each district to do this project. So that was the intent. Certainly, if there's funds available, we'll look at other alternatives.
I think I'm confusing the two is actually what I'm doing, right? This isn't really to ask for new signs. This is to replace what we have.
Replace existing signs.
My bad.
Replace existing signs. Yes, sir. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Moore,
Yes.
Muda.
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Rakos.
Yes.
Salinas.
Yes.
Warple,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries, seven in favor and no dissent. Next item on the agenda is 9B, funding allocation number 233, purchase electric vehicle charging stations with Carbon Day electric vehicle charging in the amount of $144,465. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
Thank you, Councilman Werpel, seconded by Commissioner Prieto. Is there any discussion on the motion? The City of Hammond received a $133,000 grant from the Federal Electric Efficiency Community Block Grant Program that could pay for new electric vehicle charging, among other aspects. But we submitted on a project to fund electric vehicle charging. We have an existing charging station, a level 2 charging station at City Hall that's now no longer functional and it's not replaceable in its components. The whole thing has to be replaced because the technology's advanced a lot further. So that level 2 charger will be replaced, and next to it will be a new rapid charger. So the high capacity, high voltage charging station will also be placed at City Hall. Then 2 rapid charging stations will go to the Hammond Sportsplex, sort of on the 167th Street side. Both of these will require, some site work to be done, new electric services to be installed because of the high voltage. We'll need new transformers because none of the facilities we have here can serve that at this point.
Those don't cost $1 trillion each, like the orange guy said?
No, not 1 trillion each. We're getting 4 for $144,000. Then we'll have to install them in the future. So we'll come back after the bids are done and received, and see how that comes back.
This is just for the hardware,
Just for the boxes. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Moore,
Yes.
Muda,
Yes.
Prieto,
Yes.
Riekos,
Yes.
Salinas,
Yes.
Warple,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries, 7 in favor and no dissent. Item 9C is funding allocation number 234. It's the 2024-2 Community Crossings Matching Grant project for Hammond, Columbia Avenue from Summer Street to 167th with Milestone Contractors LP in the amount of $1,494,585. Chair would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
Councilman Werpel, seconded by Councilman Riekos. Is there any discussion? So the city of Hammond applied for a 50-50 matching grant for two projects, Columbia Avenue and 165th. When the engineer estimated the cost for Columbia Avenue, they used NDOT pricing, which came in at about $3 million. So no other project, the 165th Street project was not included in the bid. When we opened bids about a week and a half ago, Milestone's price for Columbia Avenue was way lower than we expected. Not only were some of the NDOT unit prices too high, but we also got really good asphalt prices for surface and for intermediate courses. So all said, we got a project that was half the price that we expected. Well, that's good and bad. Bad part is we're not doing 165th, and there's no time to salvage that because these projects had to be awarded by this Saturday. So there's no way I can get the bid out in time to do another project. So it does save us about $750,000 to Capital Improvement Board, but we're giving NDOT $750,000 back, which is sort of a shame, given the need to do a lot of resurfacing around the city. I'm sorry, I regret that happened. I don't, there's really nothing more I can do to try to recover other than to insist that we include additional projects in the future.
Is that the part by St. John Bosco?
No, this goes from Summer Street
Oh.
to 167th. So it's this section in here that's plagued with utility problems and, the surface is delaminated. There is a project that we are currently working on from 170th Place to 173rd, which would include St. John Bosco. That's NERC funded, that will come in either 2027 or 2028. That is in design right now.
Does that include the issue we had with the sidewalk there, with the sewer that,
By Bosco?
yeah,
Yep,
okay.
it'll resolve all of
That's
those,
down the road then, right?
2027, 2028.
Mr. President.
Commissioner Pareto. Yes, sir.
How far in the future are we looking for this resurfacing?
Which one?
This,
It's
Columbia.
bid, it's ready to go.
It's ready to go.
Yep,
So this year?
this year.
Okay.
Yep. So there's a lot of infrastructure underneath that's a problem, and we have a strategy to deal with that in the long term, right? We applied to NERC and received funding for what's called a Pell study, unlike a Pell grant. You're going to college. It's a planning and environmental linkage study that sort of is a precursor to go into a full design on a project. So we'll do all the environmental work, we'll do studies, traffic analysis, pavement design probably, stakeholder input, working with the bus system to make sure that we have bus transit locations in the right spot. So all of that's going on now. Utility evaluations and how we're going to deal with water and sewer. I know that sewer has some very large utilities that have had some problems in the recent past with collapses. So that's a focus of ours. I think water's in better shape, but still, we have a long-term strategy for that, which would include making sure we do the right thing with our water mains. But that's probably 10 years out.
Yep.
Any other questions? Any other discussion? Roll call on the motion.
Moore,
Yes.
Muda,
Yes.
Prieto,
Jaime?
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Salinas.
Yes.
Warple,
Yes.
Button.
Yes, motion carries, 7 in favor and no dissent. Is there any other new business? Any other new business? Last on the agenda is public expression. If there's anyone in the audience wishing to address the Capital Improvement Board, now is your opportunity. Anyone to speak to the Capital Improvement Board? Anyone online? I don't see anyone from the public online. The next regular meeting of the Hammond Capital Improvement Board will be St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. I have no current business, but I expect there could be business by that meeting. So keep your calendars open. If there's nothing further, the chair would entertain a motion for adjournment. It's been moved and properly seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 We have a unanimous adjournment. Thank you.